Good day, everyone. We have discussed the various flight controllers and discussed the criteria for selection of the flight controllers. However, we can further simplify the selection of the flight controller based on the kind of application and level of expertise in flying drones. In our present lecture, we will further discuss on the selection of flight controllers based on the level of expertise and the application required. Let's start with it in our next slide. Class 1 flight controllers are designed for people who are new to the multi-rotor platform, designing and flying. They are generally pre-programmed for basic flight and simple functions that beginners get to use out of the box without going through a complex setup and tuning process. But these boards do give a choice to do so if required. They are usually on the lower side on technical complexity with sensors and instruments on the bare minimum, which is needed for a simple flight, like just an accelerometer and a gyroscope. With no additional ports to attach advanced sensor extensions and positioning tools, these boards are designed for casual flying and learning purposes. They are an excellent platform for new pilots to dip their hands on drone flying and control with a sense of understanding of different characteristics of electronic device properties in the air. They have basic tuning options that the beginners can modify on their own in order to get desired flight characteristics if needed. It is important to note that they have a basic software user interface with a little to less scope for heavy modification, and the developer community behind this class is not a significant one. It is a board designed with a plug and play mechanism to give a smooth and stable flying experience to learners with ease. Following are some of the important characteristics the boards have: basic input and output ports designed for beginners and casual flyers, low responsiveness, limited on-board instruments, low cost but decent performance, simple and easy user interface, limited scope for future expansion. The best board for a beginner that has an LCD screen built in for users to set up and tune the board anywhere without the need for a computer is the KK board series. With a high performance to cost ratio, this board is widely used for learning drone control and flight principles. These boards are easily available with a very few and minor differences in subsequent versions. They do not have a developer community supporting them actively, but the built-in support software suite has an excellent graphic user interface which is easy, powerful, and effective. The KK board series have low voltage needs, that is 3 to 3.5 to 5 volts, and supports battery elimination circuits too. It is one of the few boards which also supports camera gimbals that keep photography cameras on the drone stable in midair. CC3D flight controllers are all types of stabilization hardware that run the OpenPilot firmware. They can be configured to fly any frame from fixed wing to octocopter using the OpenPilot ground control station software. The board was remodeled with an improved gyroscope sensor. This revision is called the CC3D. This board, however, requires a lot of pre-configuration and is not recommended as its counterpart, the KK board, offers much more advantages. Class 2 flight controllers are designed from ground up for agile multi-rotors which are built for racing and very fast flying. Because of this, they are very compact and ultra-light. The flight controllers in this class have a very specific purpose of being very fast data processors and with their high responsiveness. They make for an excellent choice for drones that need to be light, powerful, aerodynamic, and ultra maneuverable. These flight controllers have a very elaborate software suite complementing them, which allows experienced multi-rotor pilots to configure the board and fine-tune very intricate parameters to achieve desired flight characteristics. These boards also come with a very sensitive array of sensors, which includes accelerometer, gyroscope, temperature and voltage sensor, rotation vector sensor, and much more. GPS module can be attached to these boards too. Following are some important characteristics of this class: compact and ultraweight, faster inbuilt processor for agility, onboard software algorithms tuned for high responsiveness, have an external software suite for configuration with good developer community support, easy connection making process, comes with shock and crash resistant circuit structures. The SP Racing Flight F3 flight controller is designed to give up a flight performance based on very accurate set of sensors and also providing unparalleled I/O capabilities in small and extremely lightweight form factor using the next generation CPU, which supports a high bit rate and input signal processing. There are several great features in this board, starting with the trusted STM32 F3 processing unit with integrated hardware-based floating point units for precise flight calculations and faster ARM Cortex M4 cores system on chip. It, it's black box flight log recorder that will help you optimize your tuning by comparing the current with the previous values. Some more great features are the additional built-in sensors with the barometer mounted on the bottom of the board for easy wind isolation and automated control. Dedicated output for programmable LEDs, great for orientation, racing, and night flying. A vast number of I/O supports several features at one go. The NAS 32 6 degree of flight control board is designed for serious and experienced multicopter racers and extreme freestyle flyers. The controller is the most used today and supported flight controller with a 32-bit ST microprocessor and a host of equally impressive sensors. This Rev 6 Acro version comes with a 16-bit memory and the BMP 280 barometer. This board also comes with angled head-up pins and is configurable with base flight, clean flight via the onboard USB connector. The advanced class flight controllers are designed to be absolute best at being an all-rounder solution to any multi-rotor flight purpose with having highly advanced microprocessors, specialized I/O ports for massive expansion options with additional sensors, GPS, self-made electronics, additional control boards, custom electronics, and so much more. These boards have the best-in-class software suites that enable them to customize and configure to the highest degree with ease. We have a great developer community support, and these boards are the best for unconventional flying purposes like automated flying and bring countless and highly advanced features that simply awestruck many pilots to this day. With an extremely high performance to cost ratio, these flight controller boards are the best choice to make for any purpose as they can be customized with already tried and trusted configuration to be the absolute best at any use case. Due to this versatility of these boards, they are used widely for many purposes in research work, remote sensing, in transport and delivery drones, photography, and security purposes. Enthusiasts and hobbyists can even experiment with their self-made sensors and other electronics on them because of the advances, generally purpose inputs and output ports. Following are the common characteristics. Most advanced electronics on board, a vast array of precision built-in sensors, option for massive expansion via input-output ports, low price and high performance, excellent software suite and support, lightweight with great computational power, best for all pilots overall. The APM 2.8 multi-copter flight controller is an overall rendition of 2.5, 2.6 with a built-in compass for RC drone aircraft in the new APM flight controller. Sensors are actually equivalent to an APM 2.6 flight controller. Be that as it may, this has the alternative to utilize the inherent compass or an outer compass by means of a jumper. This makes the APM 2.8 perfect for use with the multicopters and wanderers. The APM 2.8 multicopter flight control is a finished open source autopilot framework and the top of the line innovation that won the esteemed Outback Challenge UAV rivalry. It enables the client to turn any fixed revolving wing or multicopter vehicle into a completely self-ruling vehicle equipped for performing customized GPS missions with waypoints. This correction of the board has a discretionary installed compass, which is intended for vehicles where the compass ought to be set as a long way from the power and engine sources as conceivable to stay away from attractive obstruction. On the fixed wing flying machines, it's simpler to mount APM far enough away from the engines and ESC to dodge attractive impedance. So this isn't as basic yet. APM 2.8 gives greater adaptability in that situation and is a decent decision for them as well. This is intended to be utilized with the 3DR U-Box GPS with compass so that the GPS compass unit can be mounted further from the conversion sources than the APM itself. To summarize, we looked at the class 1 flight controllers, which are for the beginners and the casual flying, class 2 flight controllers, which are used for acrobatics and racing, the class 3 flight controllers, which are used for advanced flying. In our next lecture, let's look at the sensors that attach these flight controllers in detail. Thank you very much.